I do have a long history with the state of Alaska. My dad first went up in the late 1970s, early 1980s. He and my mom went north to Alaska for adventure. And while they were there, they met a homesteading family that had lived in Alaska for a long time. And these two families sort of came together and began building what would become our family business, the Great Alaska Adventure and Fishing Lodge. And so I've spent years, going up to Alaska every summer. 3 generations of my family have now worked at the lodge, and I've just really fallen in love with the state. And with regard to setting the Great Alone in the 1970s, it really is kind of part of my own history. I came of age in the 70s. I'm the same age as the primary narrator, Lenny, who is 13 years old when the novel opens. And I really sort of remember the Vietnam era as a 13 and 14-year-old. I wore a prisoner of war bracelet, missing in action bracelet for my friend's father who never came home. And a lot of my friends' fathers either didn't come home or came home changed. And so I've just always really felt connected to that time period. And it felt sort of strangely relevant again, given sort of the political climate going on right now. And so that's why I chose it for the novel. Writing about strong women. I've been doing it for years, but a lot of people first discovered my work with The Nightingale, and that was a book about, 2 sisters living in World War II France under the Nazi occupation. And it was sort of a story about 2 women learning to be brave in incredibly difficult times. It was inspired by a lot of real-life women who did remarkable things during the war. And I've sort of become obsessed lately, I guess, with telling women's lost history and with bringing to light some of these stories that have been forgotten about women doing remarkable things. The whole experience of The Nightingale has been just sort of a crazy ride. I've been, writing novels for 30 years, and The Nightingale has sort of blown past all my previous novels and sort of gotten people to embrace it in a way that is really unusual and humbling. I am so grateful for the love that people have shown for this novel. And the whole idea of it becoming a movie and sort of finally seeing my imagination on the big screen as put there by the team of amazing women who are making this film. We have a female writer, female director, female producer, female studio head, and so I'm just thrilled to be a part of this process. It's supposed to be January of 2019. Inspiration for me is a really slippery thing. Ideas are definitely the hardest part for me in coming up with the book. I am always looking for an idea that I'm willing to live with for several years, that I want to research deeply, that I care deeply about. And at the moment, I'm really focused on, these powerful women's stories. And I guess I just know that it's the right story, like I did with The Great Alone, when I come up with an idea that I just can't stop thinking about. The writing process isn't exactly I guess, the most straightforward of things. I'm a former lawyer, so I do a lot of research. I do a lot of analysis. I do a lot of outlining and a lot of sort of thinking. When I begin, I know the beginning, I know the middle, and I know the final scene. And if I don't know the final scene, I sort of know that I'm not ready to begin yet.